Hi guys, welcome. Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Why are you fighting? Oh no, oh no. Okay, I'm gonna have to put him on the blue what you guys are not seeing. But welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Sikelelwa no Femela for those who don't know. Excuse this. I really wanted to have him on and say, guys, I'm officially a mom of two. I'm a boy mom officially. And yeah, I'm trying to get my boob out, guys. It's hard. And I wanted to actually tell you that I'm going to be doing a video soon about my birth experience number 2. How it was different or how it was the same from the first one. So yeah, definitely be doing that. Stay tuned. So the topic for today is part 3 of what has been, I don't want to say a series, it's not been a series, but yeah, 3-part series of, you know, things that come to attack us and what shall we say to these things. And we should definitely tell them, if God is for us, nothing can be against us. And today we're talking about inconsistency. Yeah, this one hits me a lot, especially because I'm a creative, and there's something about creatives and having new ideas and then pursuing those ideas, and then as soon as maybe you are in it and it's not exciting anymore, you just want to let it go. And so I've had to kind of talk to myself and face the fact that, okay, because I'm a creative, I'm gonna get those moments where I don't want to be consistent anymore because I feel like there's something else more exciting, or I don't want to be consistent because I'm scared for some reason, or whatever the case may be. So that's the topic for today: inconsistency. How can we say to inconsistency that, listen, you are standing in my way of greatness and I need you to step away? So what I really wanted to say is that habits are created by repetition, and repetition is then the opposite of inconsistency. It's consistency. So when you repeat something, you do it consistently until like it's part of your DNA, and then that's what we call a habit. So that's how habits are created. And if you want to change anything in your life, you need to be consistent in that one thing. And so if there's one thing the enemy will try and make us be, is inconsistent, because he knows that if we are inconsistent, we can't hold ourselves up. Basically, you can't hold up that habit. Let's say you wanted to improve the way that you see people, or you wanted to improve let's say exercise, improve your body, improve the way you look and all of that. And so if the enemy knows one thing, is that if he can distract you so that you are not consistent, you don't constantly exercise, you don't constantly be aware of how you are treating people and all of that, then he will distract you so that you do not get to that part, you do not get to that goal that you want, you do not bear the fruit that you want to see. And simple example is, if you want to have a fruit of the spirit, let's say you want to have more patience, or you want to be more loving and all of that, he knows that once you get to that level, then he can't do much to you, because then you would be empowered by the Holy Spirit through Jesus Christ, obviously, and all these other things. And if you're not a Christ believer, I know that consistency, being consistent, it's a law. It's a law that God put out. And so it works even for non-believers and all of that. I don't know what people believe in, but I personally believe in God. And so that's why, I will make reference to certain things. But if he can distract you so that you don't do that, he knows that you won't then bear the fruit at the end of the day, meaning that you won't be a better person than you were today. And so he would really like to distract you and make you inconsistent and put troubles in your life and certain things that make you not be mindful of what you're doing at the moment. So definitely the enemy does do that. And so if we don't plan our days, if we're not intentional about doing certain things, about creating ways that we can remember to be consistent, and just creating these in our lives, like pause moments where we reflect and we say, okay, how am I doing in this area? How am I doing in that area? Am I being consistent? And why am I not being consistent if I am not being consistent? And how can I, change this thing? And there are things that are like seem urgent, as I said, like things that are like suddenly taking over your time. I was reading 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. They call these urgent things that no one is gonna die if they don't get sorted out, but like suddenly it needs to happen today. Like people call you and they're like, I need you to do this for me and I need you to do it now. And because you haven't planned out your day, because it also happens in career where people set up meetings with you that, okay, this is the priority right now, please change that plan up again and put this as priority. This is what we're doing now. Even like with managers where they give you a task and let's say you haven't finished that task and then they change their mind or something else changes and it changes obviously the urgency, or it changes what is important right now. And if you don't have your own personal plan, it means that that plan then supersedes your plan, and then sometimes you can't even perform to the way that you want to perform because of maybe the way that you didn't plan, because then you can't present it to him and say, you know what, you said to me I must do A, and now you say I must do B. And it has happened to me a lot of times, guys. It has happened to me, and I fall in the trap of it a lot of times where you don't say, okay, you said I must do A, and now you're saying I must do B as priority. So please, let's sit down with the list of my things, and you show me then what is priority, and then I will obviously go jot it down in my plans and see then if I can do that thing or I can deliver on that specific thing right now. But they don't take up your time and change up your whole plan because it's urgent. Because suddenly when things are urgent, you have to drop your own routine, you have to drop the way that you do things so that you can fit this urgent thing in. So one needs to then zero in on things that contribute to our callings. We need to zero in on those things and prioritize them. If it's exercise, you need to prioritize it. Like someone can't just come to you at 6 o'clock when you're supposed to be exercising and need something from you, because you are the one that needs to be consistent in that. And so you put boundaries around that time and around that specific thing that you want to achieve or that you want to be consistent in, whether it's consistency in gym, consistency in going to therapy, consistency in self-care, consistency in just anything. And sometimes it's consistency in rest. I'm talking to myself now. I'm going to preach to myself. Let me just listen to myself. Consistency in rest. Because rest is so resting and it feels like you're not doing anything, it can get easily distracted. Like someone can come to you when you are resting and saying, oh, you're not doing anything. Can you please do this for me? I see you have extra time. Or I see you like maybe lunchtime at work. I know this now and I need to correct that, is that in the work environment that I'm working in, right now, lunchtime is not like a specific time. You can take lunchtime anytime, you can eat it anytime. And then usually what you do is eat at your desk because you're busy doing a certain thing, you're busy achieving a certain task. And so then you don't take time to take lunchtime, of which usually I would go read a book outside, but I don't do that anymore. I wasn't doing it now because anyway, so taking time to be consistent in your rest so that you can be refreshed and you can have higher performance when you come back, whether it's at home or I know like my husband, sometimes when I'm taking like time to rest, he'll come and ask for something and I'm like, but I'm resting, and he's like, no, but I need you to do this thing, you're just sitting and it could help. And I'm like, nope, it's my rest time. And we need to be consistent in that. And what I wanted to give you, because I'm not going to let you be, I'm not going to come here and talk about a topic without giving you tools and tips on how to be consistent. So I have 4 tips, 4 points on how to be more consistent. First one is isolate one goal. Isolate one goal. Take the goal that matters the most, that like the inconsistency in it would break your life right now. Like it would mean maybe ill health, it would mean just like the worst one, like take that one, isolate it, and try to be consistent in that. One thing that this point has made me see is that you can't force your mind to tackle many things at the same time. So you need to take like just one thing that can help, or that one thing that you want to be consistent in, and once you're consistent in that, you take up on more, because then your mind has practiced the consistency. And obviously, because I was pregnant, my life just went like this, literally, and now I'm trying to get back to certain things and to being consistent with certain things. And then this definitely then is my go-to right now, to say, let me isolate one goal, and for me that is time with God. Like, I was consistent obviously before the baby, 5 a.m. club and all these things, and then I got pregnant and I couldn't wake up because probably couldn't sleep and all of that, and so that routine of mine got messed up a bit, because I would then wake up, read my word, and it's silent, no one is awake yet. So now I wake up right now, I wake up when everyone is already awake. Like, yeah, because at night I'm not sleeping, understand, the baby. But anyway, I'm trying to find another way of being consistent with listening to God, whether it's a conversation with God. I even bought like a small notebook where I have labeled it Conversations with God, where I intend to every day write something to God in that book. Whenever I can find a pause. Obviously, you need to have grace for yourself, because it just, you can't expect yourself to do certain things perfectly from the get-go. And that's leading to the second point, which is focus on incremental improvement. So the first point is isolate one goal and try to improve that in isolation, and then once that is done, you move on to other things. And then focus on incremental improvements, little by little. You won't achieve things overnight, guys. It's not gonna happen, whether it's weight loss, whether it's a mind shift, sometimes I panic for the mind shift, because I need my mind to be in a certain way. I'm like, God, I just need you to come in your miraculous ways and change everything about how I think at this moment. But God is like also a person that is a process person more than a results person, and so focus on the incremental improvements. Little by little you'll get there, and also then celebrate the small wins. Like when you get it right, celebrate that. It deserves celebration because you did well. And yeah, so focus on the bit by bit and not on the whole entire elephant that's just there waiting to be eaten, bite by bite by bite, and then you'll finish it up. Number 3, fight your emotions. Emotions, guys, trap. A trap, because your brain, or the way that the brain works, my mother says as well, is that it's created to defend. It has a defense against things that are foreign. It's like, okay, what are we doing now? What is this? It's not normal. Let me just defend against it. And then what happens is that then it sabotages its own self. And I've spoken about self-sabotage before. Hectic, very linked to the imposter syndrome, which was our first point here, to say that you then start feeling like an imposter, or something is wrong, then you want to stop, and then all you need to do in this is to fight your emotions. Your emotions are not the controllers. No, you need to fight them. And sometimes you are tired, so you need to rest. Let's say your goal was to gym, you do rest, but you need to fight that emotion. I have had several times where I didn't feel like going to the gym, then I went. Then when I came out, I felt so good, and I'm like, I'm so glad that I actually didn't listen to myself, because if I had listened to that voice that said, oh no, let's not do it today, I wouldn't be at the gym and I wouldn't be feeling like this at the moment. So yes, fight those emotions. And lastly, number 4, which is very, very important even to myself, forgive the failures. You will fail. I don't even think it's failure at this point, where you have days where it's like down days. We need to have grace for ourselves to say that, you need sometimes, life does get in the way, and maybe priorities. Let's say you prioritize family and your children, or whatever else that you prioritize, and sometimes then those things demand of us the time. So for example, if my child got sick at 5 o'clock in the morning, I can't be like, no, let me gym, because then I have to be consistent in my goal, and I have to I need to do this. I need to then look at that situation realistically and say, okay, what, my child right now is priority, let me go. And that might be seen as a failure, because then I didn't perform the goal that I wanted, or I wasn't consistent in that. And yet again, I need to then just, let that failure go and say, okay, I failed in terms of this goal that I had in consistency, but I achieved certain things based on my values. And all you need to do, for if you feel like you failed, or let's say that you really then, maybe it's an eating thing and you really did then go out of your way to eat a certain thing, is to get up quickly. Then failure honestly doesn't matter, because if you can get up and do it again, get up and do it again, that's how life is to get up and do it again. And that consistency goes right back, because then you're going to your brains and you're retraining it, and you're making it remember those sparks that it once had around that consistency. So failure is not even a thing, but our brain obviously makes us feel like failures when we don't do the things that we set ourselves out to actually do and to achieve. And so if you do feel like you failed, forgive yourself for that failure. Forgive yourself. People can forgive you. People can forgive you. The universe can forgive you. God can forgive you. Your body can forgive you, because then maybe you gain 1 kg and then you lose it again because it forgave you. But you need to forgive yourself so that you can have that motivation to start over. If you, let's say, you had a goal of just being a better person to other people, and you do mistreat someone. It happened recently to me. I had this thing that I actually wanted to concentrate on being good to my older son, because obviously there's a baby now, and yeah, I can just imagine how it makes him feel. But sometimes now he just acts out, and I said to myself, Atsike, you need to just have a goal where you just concentrate on him. You don't shout him, you try to be patient with him, and all of that. You don't discipline him, but you try in this season to be kind to him. And just yesterday I lost it, guys, because he was just hitting me, and I'm like, dude, don't hit me. And then he hit me again, and I lost it in that moment. But quickly then after that, I felt bad. Then I just reflected to say, you know what, you can try again. And now, literally now, this is a restart point. You can start again right now, and forgive yourself for the failure of not being able to control that emotion. But let's look at it again, and let's be consistent again, and let's try again, and see where it takes us. So that's what I wanted to tell you about inconsistency, that you can say to inconsistency, that if God before you, even it cannot be against you. Let's be consistent in our goals. Let's be consistent in the way that we want to live out our lives. And if we do make mistakes, let's start over and try the consistency thing again. I hope you enjoyed this. And remember, guys, there is an event, a woman event happening in East London, and we are going to cover all these 3 topics. So if you haven't listened to the other parts, please go back to part 1 of this chat, and part 2 of this chat, and part 3, and then wait for me to open up the tickets. And do get yourself a ticket and enjoy being around other women that are talking about these topics. It is going to be Bible based, because my life is definitely God based, and so, but not so in everything you don't need to carry a Bible, but we're really gonna try and see the principles that come from the word and how we can apply it in our lives. And if you enjoy content like this, please comment down below, and I will be sharing my birth story of baby number 2. I don't know if I did share number 1. Please go listen to baby number 1 story, and just wait for then baby number 2 stories to be able to see the differences, if there is, or what was the same. But I'll be sharing very, very soon. Bye.